Hear me okay, first of all. Excellent. I'm seeing a lot of nodding heads, so I'm going to take that as a good sign. So thank you all for having me here to speak 2 weeks in a row. Thank you, Al and Leslie and Alice. And I also want to take the time to thank Scott for setting up this whole meeting. I know it's not easy. So as you know, my name is Justin Aldred, and I'm running for Boone County Southern District Commissioner. A little bit about my background. I come from a very rural area, outside a village of about 400 people in Illinois. And growing up, local government played a big role in my life, not because of the services it provided, but because of the lack of services that we had. For starters, we had no real police department. We would maybe see a police car once every couple of months. We had an all-volunteer fire department, which we were thankful for. It was always fully staffed, and the volunteers there did good work. But when critical emergencies occurred, for instance, when my neighbor's house caught fire, when more resources were needed, it took the fire department 2 hours to get to the scene. Not because they were far away, but because they couldn't navigate our back roads. And our roads, more often than not, were crumbling blacktop and washed out gravel. And because our public schools were underfunded and eventually had to close, it took close to an hour and a half by bus to get to school. So where I grew up, there was obviously not a lot of economic opportunity. Jobs in the future for me and my peers looked like baling hay, hauling gravel. If your family was lucky enough to own a farm, you became a farmer. And for me specifically, it was running electrical wire, mixing concrete, and roofing. College didn't look like an option. I had the grades, but I didn't have the cash, and tuition was just too high. And that was a reality for me, the same as it is for thousands of high school students in Missouri and right here in Boone County. And then one day, I met an Army recruiter, and that was my ticket to a higher education. I enlisted at Wentworth Military Academy in Lexington, Missouri, where I accepted a scholarship founded by the late Congressman Ike Skelton. And that was a wonderful opportunity for me that changed my life and allowed me to have a better future. And it also allowed me to be before you here today. However, those opportunities aren't available to everyone. And I'm saying that because I'd like to see a government that provides opportunities regardless of the disadvantages that someone might go through and regardless of their ability to serve the government itself. But the military was very good to me, and the opportunities government provided allowed me to earn my commission as a lieutenant in the Army. And that in turn brought me to Boone County when I was 20 years old. I received my bachelor's degree from Mizzou in political science, and I accepted a certificate in American constitutional democracy from the Kinder Institute. And now I've served with the Missouri National Guard for almost 6 years living here in Boone County. And I've worked with the Missouri State Auditor's Office for 3 years as a special projects coordinator. I'm running to be the next Southern District Commissioner because I believe I have an incredibly unique set of skills and experiences that fit the challenges of the office. My time at the Missouri State Auditor's Office gave me a view of how local government should function with a focus on rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse. My time with the Missouri National Guard showed me how to be a frontline leader, how to manage millions of dollars of equipment and personnel, and most importantly to me, how to coordinate and work alongside with other organizations and departments as a team in order to complete a higher mission. Now, my experience in the Missouri State Auditor's Office under Galloway gave me my first real look at how government organizations operate. For instance, I saw hospital billing schemes across the state of Missouri that funneled millions of dollars. I also saw a road commissioner from our state take thousands of taxpayer dollars and spend them on things like cruise lines and Kansas City Royals tickets. And it's not always a grand scheme. We've seen county clerks convicted of spending taxpayer dollars to buy themselves pickup trucks, things like that. And sometimes it's the little details that are the most important. And part of my job at the auditor's office was coordinating between different departments with different people of different backgrounds to make sure everyone was on the same page and those little details got caught, and to make sure the job got done and got done right. And that's the work ethic I intend to bring to Boone County and Boone County government. Now, here in Boone County, we're facing some different challenges. My top issues as a county commissioner are government accountability, public health, public safety, and upgrading our infrastructure to meet the needs of our growing population. With COVID-19, as a county commissioner, my vote will be based on the safety of the people and the general welfare of our community, including the economic welfare of our community. And as far as reopening goes, I'm concerned about two things. The first is the safety of our customers, workers, and business owners. Here in Boone County, we've been incredibly lucky in having a small number of cases thanks to the guidance of our health director. But as a state, I believe Missouri needs more widespread testing. Not in spite of areas with low case numbers, but because of areas with low case numbers. Widespread testing would also help us track the spread of COVID-19, and on a nationwide scale, that's proven extremely difficult. The second concern I have is a focus on the road to recovery. Right now, across the county, both personal income and government revenue are strained. We've seen local businesses that have been greatly affected by the shutdown, and we know the city and the county governments are largely dependent on sales tax. Even if Boone County and the cities opened up completely, the way they operated before COVID-19 hit, we would still feel the effects. Because in an incredibly short window, we've seen unemployment skyrocket, we've seen customer spending go down, and we've seen schools shut their doors. And the effects from that will not be undone overnight. It'll lead to some very serious questions like what happens to Columbia businesses if customers don't spend as much as they used to? It's going to lead to declines. And we need to have an understanding of what the new normal will look like. And I don't have all those answers. I never will, but I can bring a team together. And if we're in a situation where we're all losing, I believe we all have to come together. Now, going through this critical time in our history, we now more than ever need local officials that put the needs of the community above special interest. And my promise to you is that I will do just that. We're facing challenges that were already present before the effects of COVID-19, but have been magnified by the pandemic. One of those that's very important to me is Boone Hospital Center. Boone Hospital Center is losing its national partnership at the end of 2020. That makes it financially vulnerable, and it's putting employees and services at risk. Under the current agreement, the hospital lease generates well over $500,000 in revenue that goes to Boone County Community Services. That's on top of the $2 million that goes to the general fund. And I, for one, do not want to see a single dollar of that disappear because those Boone County Community Services go towards a community health fund, and that goes to county residents who need services the most. That money goes towards mental health services, towards assisted living and care for elderly and infant care, towards early childhood education programs, and towards food banks. Now, I believe in Boone Hospital. I believe in the leadership of Gene Meyer, who's heading up the transition team. But I also read financial reports. According to Moody's Investor Services, the outlook surrounding Boone Hospital is negative, and the uncertainty surrounding the transition has contributed to a decline in operations. And that report was published before COVID-19 hit. Fitch credit rating agency said Boone has uncertainty around the magnitude of the costs related to the transition from a service management agreement to a new standalone structure. They also gave Boone a negative outlook. And what that means is we're not in a panic mode right now, but we have to be careful and we have to take preventional measures at all levels to avoid disaster down the road, especially as things are being compounded by this pandemic. As a county commissioner, I'll be a fighter for a county government that listens to the voices of its community and puts services to its people first and foremost. I'm running for a county government that is open, honest, and transparent, and I'll need your help to make Fred Perry a one-term county commissioner. Thank you for listening, and thank you for giving me this platform to speak on. I appreciate your support.